All right. So we have had several questions from Marco here. Um, for this one, we'll say any cool techniques to help build intuition. What I do is I just repeat it over and over and write it over and over, like writing down notes and just looking at them a lot. The more your brain has exposure to that information, the more neurons that link to that information. That is true. I also think this could be beneficial if you have an audio for this. My inner mind repeats my notes when I'm bored, and I play scenarios in my head. That is also true. When I read books, I also have the audiobook playing while I'm reading. For example, this book by Alex Hormozy. I have the audiobook via Audible. I've got the physical book, and I also take notes in the margins of the book. Same with this book, Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. Yeah, it's really nice. Helps you learn. And I also take those notes and I put them into Notion and I review them periodically. I also talk about the books I read a lot, so that keeps the information fresh. Was just wondering what you do to turn your notes into intuition quickly and effectively. So, first and foremost, as you mentioned already, when you are exposed to something more and more, those neural pathways are strengthened, and as you take that and you're exposed to it in different scenarios, and you are exposed to it with different constraints, with different whatever, if you're exposed to it in different circumstances, it will create more neurons, and neurons that fire together, wire together, yada yada yada. Shit gets strengthened. Cool. You know it more. And as you do that more and more and more and more and more, it becomes faster and faster and faster and faster and faster until it's eventually just intuitive. So how do you get to that point faster? This video came from #AskACoach, which is a channel in our Discord server where you have a safe space to ask any questions and receive a video response just like this one. You can join our Discord using the link in the description to access this channel and ask away. Now let's get back into the video so you can learn how to create the right mental environment for turning knowledge into intuition. You already touched on this a little bit, right? So you can, for example, take it in two different ways: visually, auditorily. If there's like a physical aspect, you could do that as well, right? So let's say I'm trying to learn what the proper circumstances is for smoking. Like, when do I smoke as a omen player, and like what smoke should I use? There's a few different ways you could learn this, right? You could just queue rank games. You could go and you could watch my YouTube video on it. You could go and you could watch a Woohooja YouTube video on it. You could go and you could watch a Radiant game and take notes. You can go and you could watch your own game and take notes. And there are a lot of different ways to do it. And I actually think the best way to learn is to do all of them. And by doing all of them, you're going to go and taking notes on all of them as well. And then comparing those notes. And by doing all of that, you will build this network of experiences that link together, and eventually it'll become intuitive. I never have to ask myself the question of, is this the right time to smoke? I just throw the fucking smoke because I could just tell, because I've played smokes for almost 1,000+ hours. It's just second nature at this point, right? And same thing when I coach students and they're like, oh, is it okay to smoke here? The answer comes to me immediately because I've probably seen the situation before, either within my own gameplay or by watching someone else's. And that's really all it comes down to. It's just reps and doing reps in different circumstances, right? Like, if you want to build muscle, yes, doing one exercise for it can work, right? Like, I can work out, or like a muscle group, not like if I want to work my bicep. If you want to work your bicep, yeah. There's like, you could just do curls, you'll be fine. But if I want to work like my core is not just like my obliques, right? Like, there's multiple parts to your core. So you can do that by doing like sit-ups. You can do Russian twists. You can do planks. There's resistance and there's activation when you're working out your core. So do both for better core strength. Yeah, and then you can also yeah, you get it. That's really it. It's just reps and doing those reps in different ways, because you just want a larger neural network that fires very fast. And if you can go for that, then things will eventually become intuitive. You won't have to think about it anymore, and you'll get to the point where you don't even know why something works. It just does. And hopefully you get there quickly. Good luck, Marco.